welcome back to my channel. I love Game of Thrones so much. I'm so excited to be sharing with you my list of Game of Thrones baby names, 5 girl and 5 boy names from the television series. I'm a huge Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, like super nerd, and this video is so exciting. But if you are not a Game of Thrones fan or have never watched the television series, never read the books, do not fret. If you are just a fan of romantic, strong, and unique baby names, I think that you will really love the names that I chose from this series for this list. And before we jump into it, this video is a collab with my friend here on YouTube, CIERA'S. She is a mommy and lifestyle YouTuber like me, and she makes some amazing content. Not only do we share a love of Game of Thrones, which is like few and far between, but we actually both worked at Universal Studios around the same time. She was a performer in Halloween Horror Nights, and I was a performer in the Macy's Holiday Parade the same exact year. I'm gonna leave a link to her video. She's doing the same video down below. Make sure you head on over and subscribe to her channel. She has a little girl, Anastasia, and she's pregnant, due in April with her second baby. So you can follow her along that entire pregnancy journey. Again, I will leave a link to her video and her channel down below. All right, let's jump in to my top 5 boy and top 5 girl baby names from Game of Thrones. If you're new to my channel, I have an 18-month-old son, so let's start with the boy names. The first name on my list is Robb. I'm blushing already. Robb Stark. I mean, come on. The name Robb, I think it's short, it's to the point. If you are looking for something that is strong, heroic sounding, I think Robb is a really good choice. And what's cool is that you can just name your kid Robb. Like, it doesn't need to be short for Robert if you don't want it to be. I like Robb with 2 B's. Again, I think that that's a little bit unique, a little bit different. You don't see that often. But when I was thinking of baby boy names and the names from Game of Thrones, I really gravitated toward Robb first. I'm not gonna give any spoilers because like I have confidence that everyone who watches this video will eventually, if you haven't already, sit down and watch the entire series of Game of Thrones. But the next name on my list is Rhaegar. Is that not the coolest name you've ever heard? I'm just gonna say Rhaegar is like a central figure in the A Song of Ice and Fire story. The name Rhaegar is really, it sounds really fierce. Doesn't that sound fierce to you? It sounds like tiger. It sounds fierce. It sounds like a really strong name. It almost, to me, like it sounds like Robert a little bit. It sounds like Rhett too, which I think is like a pretty strong guy's name. It sounds like a guy's guy name, right? I just really like the name Rhaegar. I think it's different too. I doubt that your child would have another Rhaegar in their class, although who knows? Our generation is going to be full of Game of Thrones nerds. But yeah, I really love the name Rhaegar, and I think looking at my list, if we were to have another son, if we were choosing a Game of Thrones name, I think I would go with Rhaegar. I really like how strong it sounds. Next boy name is Tommen. So sweet. I'm not gonna give any spoilers for the series, but Tommen is one of Cersei Lannister's kids, and he is the youngest of the 3. He's a very sweet boy, and so when I hear Tommen, I think very sweet, gentle, and kind. I like Tommen because to me, it sounds almost like an offshoot of Thomas. If you like the name Thomas, Tommy, but you find that maybe those are a little too common and you want something a little more unique, I think Tommen could be a really good choice. He can go by the nickname Tom if he wanted something that was generally known a little bit more. I think Tommen is a really cool name that could be like a really different and unique choice. Tywin. Tywin's the next name on my list. Big Daddy T couldn't do a Game of Thrones video without mentioning the name Tywin. Tywin is like arguably the best character in all of television history. Come at me with that. It's totally fine. Yeah, watch Game of Thrones just for Tywin, for sure. Okay, I love the name Tywin. I think it's, again, really strong. Again, another teen name that is like could be a very unique substitute for maybe more common names. Again, like Travis or Thomas. If you wanted something that was going to be a little bit different. Again, Tywin, super strong name, very fierce name, and he could go by the nickname Ty. That is the cutest nickname ever. The last baby boy name that I'm going to mention, and I will name a few like honorable mentions at the end, and there is one boy name in that honorable mention. But the last boy name is Gendry. I like the name Gendry. I really do. I think, again, that it's a strong option. If you like the name George, if you like other G sounding names, Garrett, Garrison. I think Gendry could be a unique G name option. I love the character Gendry in both the book series and in the television show. I think going with the name Gendry could be a pretty awesome choice. Let's get into the girl name. My number one name for girls from Game of Thrones is Margaery. I really love the name Margaery. I think it sounds so beautiful. I think that there's something so elegant and timeless about the name. I love the Y at the end. I love that like E sound. I just think Margaery is a really gorgeous regal name and a really stunning choice. The next name that's number 2 for me, but like almost tied there at the top, is Marcella. Marcella is one of Cersei Lannister's 3 children. I just think that name is so beautiful. Like Margaery, there's something regal, very feminine and gorgeous about the name. I love the 2 L's, the Cella part. You could nickname her Ella. Again, if you like the name, like if you like a name like Margaret or Megan, but you're looking for something that might be a little more unique, Marcella might be a good choice. Okay, getting now to 2 E names, both from Dorne. Just like really wave my nerd flag really high. First one is Ilaria. Ilaria is paramour to our dearly beloved Oberyn Martell, and Ilaria is just such a stunning name, such a beautiful name. Elle and Ella are like 2 very popular girl names at the moment, and I think that both of them are so beautiful. But if you wanted something that was going to be a little less popular or a little more unique, you can go for Ilaria, because I haven't ever met an Ilaria in person. I never heard of the name until I started watching Game of Thrones. So I think Ilaria is such a gorgeous choice. Her nickname could be Ella, it could be Rhea if you wanted, it could be just Elle. I think that's a beautiful choice. Second name, E name, is Elia. Elia Martell was married to Rhaegar Targaryen. Unfortunately, she died at the sack of King's Landing, but that's a story for another day. I think Elia is such a beautiful name. I think of all the girl names, Elia for me might be one that I would actually use if I were having a baby girl and needed a Game of Thrones name. I love Elia. I love how short it is. I love the L sound. You could again nickname her Elle or Ella. I think Elia is short enough, wouldn't need a nickname, but some people really love nicknames. Some people really consider that before choosing a full name for their child. And I totally get it. I think Elia is such a stunning, it's a very feminine name, but at the same time, I still feel like there's a deep strength behind it, if you know what I mean. And last girl name I chose was Nymeria. Nymeria is such a unique, stunning, fierce female name, is it not? Nymeria. I love it. Nymeria is in the series the name of Arya's direwolf. Arya mentions that she names her direwolf Nymeria after the fierce warrior princess Nymeria of the Rhaegar people who settled in Dorne and created an alliance with Dorne. She's just known as a very strong, fierce female warrior, and Arya takes a real liking to her in the series as well as in the books. And I just love the name Nymeria. I think that it is a beautiful, again, it has the IA sound at the end, which a lot of people gravitate toward when choosing a girl name. That's definitely something that I gravitate toward. But the Nym part is like so beautiful, the NYM part. And I think with a name like Nymeria, not only would your daughter stand out, would that be like a very unique name, but it is also just like such a stunning name and just gorgeously rolls off the tongue. I love it. All right, we're just gonna mention really quickly 4 names. These get honorable mentions. The first is Sansa. I am an outlier here. I love the character of Sansa. I love her in the books. I think that she'll probably have like a little bit of a better ending in the books than she did on the TV show, although she'll probably meet the same end game. I just love her. I loved her. I love Sophie Turner. And I think Sansa is such a beautiful name. It's not a very obvious name. I think when people hear the name Sansa a lot because she's such a major player in the Game of Thrones TV show, but I don't think it's a very obvious name choice, but I think that it's really cool. And I think that if you went with the name Sansa, that would be a really unique but awesome choice. The next name is Olenna. I could not make this video and not mention the name Olenna. Olenna Tyrell, the matriarch of the Tyrells in the Game of Thrones series. She is so fierce and such a like cutthroat, cunning woman. She's awesome. And I think O names are really big now. Olivia has obviously been such a huge name for the past few years, but I think the name Olenna is such a stunning, like very classic, but like old time name, and is so beautiful. This girl name I have on honorable mentions is the name Arya. I love the name Arya. It's definitely becoming very popular and a lot more common. I actually met an Arya that lives, a little girl named Arya who's playing at the park with my son one day. So I think as time goes by, we'll be meeting a lot more Aryas, although a lot of people tend to spell it with an I instead of a Y. I love the Y spelling, and I think if you're gonna name your kid Arya, like naming your child Arya after Arya Stark, like could there be anything better? The last name I wanted to mention on my honorable mentions is Jaime. Jaime Lannister, Kingslayer. I like the name Jaime. I like it for a little boy. I think that it's darling, it's really cute. The name itself is like a pretty strong name, but not too aggressive. I just wanted to mention it. Alright guys, and that is my Game of Thrones baby name list. If you yourself watch Game of Thrones and there are any names that you really love that I didn't mention, definitely leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out CIERA'S video. I'm really interested to see if we chose any of the same names. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!